Legal because whoever's growing it could use their shit, you know? So their share price is up 188% over the last 3 months. I should know because myself has had bought it at 29 in November. I looked it up today to see. I bought it in 29 and now it's up to $51. So yeah. Yeah, but nice my butt. I sold it. I sold it and I only got 2 shares now and I bought it at like $41. So anyway, then on December 15th, they acquired this grassroots hydroponic company. It's in Southern California. And so now they have 39 total retail locations, most of which are in Cali, but they're looking to one thing that I started and wrote down is that management estimates roughly 1,000 hydroponic stores in operation by 2025. So they're trying to be in all major states, including Canada, of the United States and Canada. So, nice. Yeah, so it's looking up there, and they keep on, and the analysts keep on changing the ratings. They have 100% buy rating, but they're also changing the ratings of the price, how do you call it? When you say what the price will be? Huh?
They keep raising
the price target.
Bam. That's that. Yep.
So I got questions on that. Where are they? Who are they selling to?
I knew you was gonna ask that. I was like, let me get my Google ready.
Earlier. But who are they selling to? They selling to retailers like you and
me? I knew you was gonna ask that. That's why I got Google ready.
Are they selling to the weed companies? Are they selling large greenhouses, or are they selling these small greenhouses where I can put it in my backyard?
Oh, that's what and that's one question that I knew that you were gonna ask, like I said, and I never got to the bottom of that. But from the looks of it, it seems. What?
I said that might take some time to find out. Like,
yeah. Well, from the looks of it, it seems like they said, actually, I'm lying. I did look into it, and it said at home and companies. The thing is that at home could mean anything, or it doesn't say at home. It says indoor, I think. Anyway, I don't know. The answer to that question is I don't know. I'm sorry.
All good. Good follow-up. The other thing is that deal that they bought it for. It's interesting how deals work. So it'd be good to dig deeper. For example, Tilray and Altria. Altria bought Tilray. They did an all-stock deal, but Altria's shares will get diluted. So it's it's a lot technical, but once you start reading it, you'll understand. So I would want to know what that deal was like. That company that they bought out, how did they buy them? Did they buy them all cash? Did they issue shares, stocks? Because that might dilute your shares and make the stock price drop a little. It'd be interesting to see how that deal was structured. So that'd be something to follow up and just dig into and see how did they purchase that company.
Okay, that's all I got. Any other questions?
You gotta tag somebody else. Who you tagging next?
I'll tag Kamal.
Kamal, your stock was DDD?
Yes. So basically from last time we all spoke about DDD, it was trading at 24. At this point, it's at 28.79. What I do know about the company is it is a 3D printing company. The owner, actually I have all this information somewhere in my phone. It was basically started in 1986. It's co-founded by Chuck Hull, who's the person who actually was the first person to have a patent on 3D printing. They do these things called DMP, which is DMP and VSP, which are two different types of 3D printing. One is basically metal. So they sell in the aerospace industry and the auto industry. the metals that they 3D print, which I didn't actually know. I thought it was just plastic 3D printing, which is mostly their surgical division, surgical and dental needs. And then they also have an auto aerospace thing that they started in 1987 that I didn't know that you can do 3D printing on a metal or, you know, that type of basis. I thought it had to be something more malleable. Their only competition is another thing that I've actually put on a
Chat.
our chat during the week. Yeah, the NNDM.
Mm-hmm.
That is a Israeli-based 3D printing company. As far as I know, they are only doing plastic as of yet, but I just started really getting into them, so I'm learning more about them. And exactly how much money they have, I do not know that answer.
Can
What
I
else can
just
I
jump
give
in for a minute? My
Mhm.
brother, my brother is at a manufacturer in Sandusky, Ohio, and his job is he's an electrical engineer. Everything in that place is robotic. But guess what they make? They make parts for automobiles. It's all 3D printing metals.
Mhm.
And so he came home, surprised us for the holiday, and we were talking about. He's like, Trey, you've been talking about this shit, and I didn't even know, because his job is electrical engineer. He makes sure all the robotics are working. But he said they are making metal parts for these automobiles. Because I've been talking about 3D printing since 2016. I knew it existed since the 80s, but Boeing, the airlines, everybody's been using 3D printing because they need stuff like 24 hours. And so that's why I was so fascinated about it, the 3D printing. But, and on Robinhood, you have the triple Ds, which you're talking about, Kamal. Then they have the 3D printing. And then when I went to look about it, the information about these stocks on Robinhood, how come it says people don't suggest that this is a good investment and it's an ETF? And that's was something I had wanted to talk to Terrell about, because I don't understand why would they say that it's not highly recommended to invest. And I didn't understand that on Robinhood, because I have either Robinhood or Stash. And so that, because like I said, both of these companies, especially the one you're talking about, Kamal, the triple D. I knew who the founder was, and then the CEO is named Jerry, something like that. But the founder is Chuck somebody. But my brother was saying that, yes, it's a big, and this is like one of his third gigs where he's been sent to these manufacturers where he was at another place where they were building airplane parts, 3D printing. So he was just saying, I can't believe this shit. He's like, it is amazing. So
And
yeah.
I was actually interested in trying to find out like how much is a 3D printer. And also my interest was, I knew there's a woman in New York that works down by Wall Street, and she has a prosthetic leg.
That's another.
But her prosthetic is this, it looks like a lace cutout. But when you get close up, you see it's like countries and animals, and it tells this incredible story. And it's the most beautiful thing that, like, I didn't even take it as a prosthetic at first. It looks more like art. Right. And when she told me that it was a 3D printing of this thing that she drew up and they just stacked it layered, that's when I first saw it. And I thought about the different things that you would make, like you might not necessarily need Yeah,
like, because children grow. So if you're missing a limb, they go to this 3D printing.
Add another stack on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what. So 3D printing is not just with metals and plastics. It's going to be with food too, which is kind of creepy. We're going to be able to print our own food. That's crazy.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's
the
it. I didn't mean to
interrupt. That I did see though was the cheapest printer I saw was $60,000 from this particular company, and the most expensive printer is $1 million. So.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question, because I looked a little bit into NDM. I know that their stock has risen recently, or for news that they sold one printer to a company. So I was gonna ask, does the DDD do the same thing? It seems as though these machines are very expensive.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and they already have contracts with a lot of medical hospitals, and I believe with Boeing and a couple aerospace things. But they also have a whole new line of printers coming out where they're just making like commercial things. You want this statue reproduced 20 times, you know, they're scaling down to that level now. So they're going to be
Yeah.
able to make parts for planes as
Mhm.
well as replicas of your earrings. You don't want to rear the real ones out here, make
Mhm.
these fake ones in your house.
Yeah, you guys saw the movie with it's the female version of Ocean 11. I tell everybody, if you don't
Mhm.
if you don't know
Mhm.
about it, there's a whole scene where they plan to steal this jewelry from the museum, and they show you the actual printer. You know how it's
Mhm.
reproducing the diamonds and the jewels. I'm sorry, Terrell and
No, it's
everybody else.
good.
I get excited. I get excited because
Um,
that's what I love about technology.
I have a
So
question.
Kamal, it's your turn to pick. I have
Wait.
not a question for you, but I have some information. I actually sent some information to Will on NNDM, and I think that's something I would like to tag people to do as well. If you
Okay.
see if any stories that's coming up, particularly around a stock that somebody adopted, feel free to text them. Even if you do it outside of the text, so they can post it, but empower them with giving them that information.
Okay.
So Kamal, I just was gonna send you some information on NNDM since it's DDM.
I know a little bit about them. I know that's
Yeah.
the Israeli-based company.
Yeah.
But from what I'm seeing, they're doing more of a smaller scale. They're not really doing metal printing either yet. I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I saw, it was about like plastics. They're trying to get into medical fields, but they're doing more consumer based as opposed to high manufacturing. But again, I didn't go that deep into them, so I could be wrong.
I just read something about someone putting a lot of puts and shares, doing a lot of calls options on NNDM. So I was gonna send that to you.
You had a
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Who you picking? Who's next? Who you tagging?
Oh, wait, Ty had a question. Ty, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question too. Yes, I have a question.
Jeez.
Okay, my question is, I may have missed it because it was, I may have missed it, but do they only sell printers, or is it some place that makes these 3D printers? Like, is there a retail store or something? So if I wanted something printed, I can walk in some place or dial it up on a website?
No. You can order a printer if you want something printed from their company, but they're mostly selling machines and printers to like aerospace, automotive fields, dental and medicine, prosthetic wise, teeth wise. But they do sell commercials. You know, if you had a place where you was like, I'm going to be making a lot of 3D printers, you can go and get one of their printers, but it's going to be like $80,000 to $100,000.
And if a person has a product that they need a prototype, they will send it to a company that does 3D printing. You know, if somebody comes up with a product design and they need a 3D prototype, they will send it to, and it's expensive just to get it reproduced.
I got a little homework, and I got a little response for Tracy on why they said it was a bad investment. All I know is I haven't looked into DDD. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't even know if NNDM is good or bad. But based off of why they would say it was a bad investment is I know that NNDM's balance sheet isn't great. They're not making a lot of money. That's probably why they think it is. It's considered highly speculative. But at the end of the day, all of our stocks are highly speculative stocks.
Okay,
So
no, but because
that's why like analysts would say that they're bad, but they're not bad for us because
because both the triple D and the 3D printing, those two different individual stocks, it says that it's not highly suggested, and they both said that they're ETFs. So that's why I didn't understand why.
I don't think DDD is an ETF.
Nope, both of them are. Yeah, when I go on Robinhood and you swipe up, it will say that, and that's why that was one of my concerns. I don't mean to keep interrupting.
3D Systems Corporate Common Stock.
Yeah, let me go back to it.
Yeah, but that's all. They think that anything that doesn't have a good balance sheet is bad, which until recently, Tesla didn't have a good balance sheet. They had a lot of debt, and they was able to pay off that debt is because their stock kept rising and they did stock offerings. So that doesn't mean that a company is bad as long as they have a business that can actually sustain itself. Then they'll eventually have a good balance sheet.
Okay, because yeah, it says people also own. This list is based on the portfolios of people on Robinhood who own Print. Print is one of the companies, the 3D, and it says it's not an investment recommendation. And it's ETF. So that's why I just want to know. I don't want to keep going back and forth and interrupting the group, but that's something I want to do. But
You're part of the group. You're not interrupting the group because you're part
Yeah,
of
and
the group.
this is
Oh,
good.
thank
This
you.
gets
Thank
all
you,
our
T. I
voices
love
in the
it.
chat. This is
Thank
really
you, T.
good.
You always have
And-
my back. Thank you so much. She's so supportive.
I also I'm looking at this, where would it say, because I like when I'm looking at ETFs, I have Robinhood, but I'm not on Robinhood right now. I mainly trade on my Ameritrade account.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'm on Robinhood now. So okay, I'm gonna click on, because I have a watch list. So Print, which is a 3D printing ETF, that's one. As of this weekend, it was $38.16 a share. Then there's Triple D 3D Systems, which is $28.75. So these are they're on my list. So when I click on it and I scroll up to get more information, there's a section that says, this list is based on portfolios of people on Robinhood who own Print. It's not an investment recommendation. So, but we'll just kind of explain it. And it says about 3D printing ETF. Is it ETF?
Okay, so they're saying people who own Print also own these stocks.
Okay.
That's
Okay. Okay. And both of them, like I said, both of them are ETFs. And if I'm not mistaken, I had jumped in the call, I think last week or week before last late. And I heard Terrell you guys were talking about, we're not going to do ETFs. So that's was a concern. But I didn't hear the beginning of the conversation. So
We were saying our adopted stocks is specifically adopting a stock, because if you adopt the ETF, you're going to be reporting on 25 to 30 different stocks.
Right, but if the stock, like the 3D printing, if that is an ETF, then that's not a good stock to adopt. Am I right?
but
Yeah,
is
no,
this
we're
an
looking-
ETF, or is it a part of an ETF group as well as being a common stock company? Because wouldn't it say ETF on?
Yeah, no, DDD is not an ETF. It is 3D Systems. It is a company.
right.
Yeah, I'm talking about two different ones though.
Right. DDD is not an ETF.
But
Print
3D printing is.
Yes.
Yes.
Print is an ETF.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it most likely has, because since you go to Print ETF and it shows you DDD and NDM, it's most likely those two stocks are most likely in Print ETF. If you looked up the holdings of Print ETF, you probably see those two companies inside of them.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
Good stuff. Kamal, who you tagging? Who's next?
Oh, who has let me see, who has plug or power?
That was Will.
Did we already do that, Will?
Will, tell us about plug, man. It was going crazy this week.
Going crazy. It had a pullback.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be part of everyone's thing too, because it won't happen every week, but when your stock has news reporting, plug got a pullback because it's analysts from Chase changed it from overweight to neutral, basically saying that it's fair valued. It's fair valued that where it's at now. At the beginning of the week, it had a pullback because people were, taking their profits or whatever, and then it dropped a little because, they're not saying it has potential anymore. They're saying right at where it's at is where it should be. So right now it's going to tread water a little bit, but this week coming up, they're reporting on Thursday their fourth quarter numbers and giving new guidance for 2021. So most likely I'll have a good week coming up again.
So where did it start at, and where's the pullback? Because I didn't notice any pullback on that. It was I sold it at 44.
It ended last week at like $70.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a pullback because I sold it at 44, and I sold it for, I think I made 50% earnings. Like I bought it for 24.
Yeah,
a while back.
But when did you sell it? Like 2 months ago?
No, I sold it like last week at $44.
Yeah.
Plug Power, right?
Plug Power. No,
yeah.
it's pulled back from its high. I think the high was 73, something like that. Yeah, 73. So it's trading at 60 currently. That's a pullback.
Oh, I mean, it's a pullback from.
If you think it's a pullback to where it was trading previously, then no. It was trading at 44 before it announced there's deals from last 2 weeks ago with the car maker, the France car maker. The name escapes me. Yeah, that's where it was traded at before that. The $44. After that, it exploded past that. So it's probably not going to get back down to that level. It looked like it bounced off of 50, the high 50s this week. It went back up to 60. So we're looking for a pattern, looking for it to settle down, see if it settles down or it boosts off of that news at the end of the week.
Well, I got a question for you. What was your buying approach on Plug? Because it's something that you was into earlier. Was you going in heavy early? Were you looking to just skim and buy as it go up and down? Did you buy when it dropped? Give us some insight into your
strategy,
your buying strategy.
Okay, so my strategy, as you know, like has grown. I was buying like when I got into Plug Power, I was still buying like 10, 15 shares and thought that was a lot. So I was doing that a lot. And so with Plug, I was, buying, then shoot up. And then when it has a little pullback, I sell some and then buy for a little bit lower. With Plug now, I'm taking a different strategy. I'm just going to keep adding to. And I'm just looking a few years out for this stock. I'm looking for it to fully grow. I now watched it long enough where I'm super confident and just keep purchasing more and just holding it. I'm not interested in like taking short-term profits anymore on it. So that's my takeaway from it from now on. So now I'm looking to try to get at least over 100 shares.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that because I kind of don't. So you're saying you buy more when you get the chance?
When I get the chance, when I start, like I said, you don't want to buy as it's right. You don't want. For me, this is what I do. I wait for it to settle down. Like I said, I watch Plug long enough. I see that when there's no news, it settles in a range, and then that's when I can buy. If I don't want to buy when it's rising or falling because I don't know if it's going to fall more or rise, or when I'm buying it at the top and it's going to fall. Like if you would have bought it at 70, thinking, oh yeah, it's exploded past 50, 60 and it's going to 80, you got stuck buying it in the high range. So you wait for it to, once it has its run to go down. So
I have a question.
Again, this week would be iffy for me to buy it right now. I don't know whether the news that's coming out will make it shoot up higher or is it already priced in?
That's what I was going to actually have a question about just now. Like I have two questions actually. I want to know, well, one with buying going forward. I also have Plug Power. I brought in at $40 actually. And bought like maybe 11 shares I have. When I saw it going up, I was like, I'm gonna continue, I'm gonna hold on to my shares, of course. But now that it's at $60 and I know it has the chance to keep going up and it has already gone to over $70, that makes me think, okay, so I'm gonna buy some more shares now while it's $60 because I'm pretty much sure in another month or two, it'll be over $100.
In a month or two? I'm not sure on that.
I mean, I'm not saying that's, positive, but that's my speculative thought.
It is possible.
And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, that's cool too, as long as it doesn't drop.
Right.
Well,
that article I showed you, I showed you, well, it's way past 30, but yeah, they have a lot of tailwinds going for them. So I don't see it like having a free fall like FUBU, for example. They just got a lot of things that's going for them. So Yeah, I wouldn't say, I would say 60 is not a bad price. I'm just being greedy and just watching. See if I can get it for like 55 maybe. But that's where the technical analysis would come in, and Rel is great at that. I'm still novice to that part. I just have my logics where I'll wait and see what happens.
Okay.
Buy some
So,
more.
so I'll definitely look into plug
Right.
on that on more technical stuff. Who you tagging, Will?
There's only one left, Natasha.
No, I think Tracy too.
Oh, Tracy. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
we really can't do me yet, Terrell.
Okay. All right. So we'll connect after the call if you have time, and then we'll do you next week.
Yes,
So
sir.
Natasha, let us know what's going on with for FCEL. I think you put
It was fuel cell energy.
fuel cell.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So based on my research, when I first invested in the stock, it was at 15, and over the past week it went up close to $20, and then it declined. But based off the history, after like for a whole decade, the stocks were declining, and then they're starting to turn the corner. And as of 2015, a group of fuel cell companies started to report their first profits, and they're predicting that it's at an all-time low right now. But this is the time to invest, because with the new administration that's coming in, and they're big into clean energy. And we all know that fuel cell energy is pretty much the hydrogen economy, and they're into like liquid hydrogen, which is very similar to gasoline, but it behaves a little differently. And that's pretty much what's being used to fuel planes and vehicles and things of that nature. But it's like it's up and down, but I believe that they're saying it has no other place but to go up, based off of what the new president, a new policy he wants to bring in with the all green initiative. So I feel like it's probably a long-term investment, but I'm going to continue to monitor it, and because it went back down, I'm going to buy some more and just continue to watch it. But I think that it's a baby that it's going to blossom. In regards to the founders, I'm still researching who the founders, but I know that his name was Bernard Baker, and he has a partner by Martin Klein, and they're both into chemical. They're both chemical engineers, and I think they're more knowledgeable like in advanced battery technology. That's pretty much it.
Got it. So the thing with fuel cell, and I wanted to talk to you about this, Natasha, which is pretty good because it's in the same lane as Plug Power. It's one of those highly speculative stocks that I think is going to get some residuals from Plug Power. And so I feel like it's gonna ride that wave, and it's in this week was evident of that. Plug, but it had the same up surge and pullback like Plug Power. So the interesting thing about fuel cell too, that I think like definitely the news, the research, and what's going on with the news, but I think the interesting, back to the core of Will's questions, is how is it going to make money? So, and this is for everybody collectively. Let's answer these questions so we can be really informative next week on our stocks. How is it making money? What is this cash flow? We don't have to go deep into the technicals. I think Will is right. We can slowly go into the technicals, but cash flow is important. You know, what's the backing? It's said that Plug Power has more money and more backers than fuel cell. So, but this is a great, just the dynamics of Will having Plug and you having Fuel Cell is really, really good, because we get to really, this how you start like really diving into specific industries and what I call star stocks within those industries. So Plug Power and Fuel Cell on the energy side is going to be very highly speculated stocks. You know, they're the ones that all of the speculators are pushing. Robinhood, and a lot of the platforms too. So I just want to throw that out between that relationship. You and Will have that same relationship. I think it's going to be great.
Can I just jump in? I kind of
Go ahead.
got something for Natasha to look at. Two things.
Mhm.
First off, Plug and go figure, Plug and Fuel Cell is reporting on the same day. So Thursday, before the market opens, they'll have a conference calls reporting their earnings and stuff like that.
Okay.
Even if you can't get on, if you have Robinhood, right?
Yeah, I have Robinhood.
All right, so Robinhood, even if you can't get on at that time, at whatever time is convenient for you, they'll have the replay where you can listen in and listen to them. If you
Wait,
go to-
at what time you said they'll be reporting their
they're
earnings?
reporting before the market opens.
And that's what, at 9?
9, yeah. So maybe like 8 o'clock. But even if you can't get on live, they'll have the replay of it a few hours after, where you can listen in, and you just go onto Robinhood app and go into Fuel Cell and scroll down. You can listen in. One key thing I would like to know, because this literally like no news on Fuel Cell, like no recent news, is like who are they? Just like Plug, who's their partners? Who's their customers? Who are they working with?
I will have to look more into who their partners are. I just know that
they should say it in the call. So they should be they'll be mentioning, you know, their numbers. They'll be reporting who they work, what projects they're working on, and things like that. So that'll be interesting to see what they're doing.
And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see when this new administration comes in, because they're saying that it can give this stock a massive boost. So I'm looking forward to see what happens with that.
Got it. That's a good point, Will. I think that should be a homework assignment for everyone to get on these calls. The shareholder calls, they're boring, you know, when it's like learned. I mean, a lot of it is going to be somewhat maybe above your head, but it, like anything, being there and hearing some of the things that they're saying, the things that they have to report publicly out to the shareholders, it gives you such a deeper invested interest. So that should be something that I think we all should strive to be a part of, those calls of our adopted stock.
And speaking of that, Terrell, I had received an email from Stash, because Apple is going to have this annual meeting with shareholders on February the 23rd. And I have just fractional shares, and it sends me the control number, some kind of other number, and a link, because it's about something about voting. It said you can enter your voting instructions and view the shareholders material. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that, but being that you guys are just talking about when you have the opportunity to jump on a call to listen, it's like, I guess it's a learning experience.
Absolutely.
And you all are Apple. I know you all have shares of Apple. I just have a fractional share. And I was just wondering, did you get any type of email or notification?
Yeah, I voted.
Oh, you did already?
I voted no for executives compensation. They trying to get us to vote for more money for them.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, if you log on, you can read what there's a lot of, and that's what type of research that Rel likes to do, and it's great research. But if you don't want to do that, just click the recommendation. They'll recommend what you should vote.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, I don't know. So
but a lot of it is voting in board members. You don't know who the hell these people are, so it's just like, who cares? But Rel likes to know the CEOs and stuff like that, which is super important.
It's important. Yes, it is. I agree.
Yeah.
But,
well, I had an expensive deal not knowing the CEO of a company. I invested in this penny stock, and the CEO was a crook.
Oh,
And he had a bad rap sheet, and I didn't do the research until afterwards. It was like 5 years ago, but I was looking to make an end, so I always make that a part of my checkoff list for companies that I'm invested in, especially companies that I don't know about.
really quick about the conference calls. The conference calls is boring, but those I put it in the group chat. Those 4 questions, if you know what you're looking for, you could just drown out the rest of the noise. You know,
Yeah.
you're just looking for those 4 questions. All right, what did they do? When they start saying we sold X amount of printers or so, that's what y'all do. Y'all sell printers.
Okay.
How do they make their money? And then they're not gonna mention the competition, but
Right.
you know, things like that. You'll read the question and then know what to look for.
Okay.
It's kind of like
I was just surprised because I mean I have fractional shares. I'm not, but you know, because somebody, I don't know who, if it was somebody from this group that said, well, if fractional shares, you really don't own anything. So I don't know. But thank you, Will.
Natasha, one more thing on fuel cell. There's a great article that I started to read. I didn't finish. It's on Yahoo Finance. It's called what is it called? Fuel cells energy. It has a $1.5 billion problem. I'm gonna send it to you now, but it talks about who their partners are and how they just recently raised money. So reading through some of
Where are
the
you?
articles-
Because I'm on Yahoo Finance. Where are you?
It was
Under what tab?
it was, you can just type in fuel cell energies got a $1.5 billion problem, or you can just say fuel cell energies. It should be the top article. It just was written for this past Friday.
Yeah, I did. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure.
You don't see it on Yahoo Finance? I can send you.
No.
What's your email? I'll email it to you now.
Can you just put it on the WhatsApp because I was interested in that company too.
Oh, okay. I'll send it now. But yeah, I'm excited. So good stuff on the adopted stocks. I think next week let's definitely tighten it up on the reporting, the latest news. If we have earnings, when is the earnings for that call? What are the partners? How it makes money? Who's his customers? All of those good kind of basic questions where you can essentially teach the teacher and be able to spurt out that information fluently to anybody new that's hopping on the call or anybody within the within our chat group.
I also want to bring something else up to everybody's attention. I believe we spoke about this either last week or the last time I was on the call about Luckin Coffee, the Chinese coffee company.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else got in on this, but it's down to $9 now. But for the longest time, it was like $2, $3, $5, $8. At its peak last year, a year ago, right before COVID, it was at $50 a share. This week, it got up to $10.50. It's gone back down. It went up on Thursday to $10.50. At the close on Friday, it went down to $9.16. So this is another thing where it's just, again, a gut feeling, just being in China and seeing how much more coffee they drink than tea, seeing how many people there are, seeing how this is the next Starbucks, and seeing how it was really expensive. COVID hit, it dropped down to damn near nothing. Then they had that scandal, it went to a couple cents. You know, I still kept my shares and kept buying more shares. And now, you know, it's getting up to $10.50. This is another thing where I was saying, if I'm looking at your chart and I see that you're hovering here and then you manage to grow to this place, even though you drop back down, I know you have the potential to grow to that place and go past that place. So this is, again, something, it's $9, you know.
Yeah, I had some that I kept and I sold it. I used it as a swing trade. I sold it when it had that surge on December 18th. It surged up to like $9.50 from $3 and change. So I sold all my shares of Luckin. Me with Asian companies, they generally are cooking the books. A lot of their overvalued stocks, you can't tell when it's overvalued and you can't tell. But I with Luckin Company, it's the what I try to do is look at the market cap, the total number of shares that it has out, and what's going on the back end in terms of them selling shares, whether partners or initial investors selling shares of it. But I think you're right about the staple that it is. So from the standpoint of it being Starbucks international competitor, yeah, they got over 3,000 stores. So over 4,000 stores, I think. But I think that those is something that I would, just my opinion, I would definitely kind of use as kind of one of those play money. Like those are my 10% of my portfolios, the things that I'm doing swing trades on. That's where I would keep with Luckin Coffee. That's just my opinion on Luckin.
I don't even like coffee, bro, but
I love
it's
coffee.
just a feeling, you know.
Yeah.
It's just in that environment, seeing, okay, this is what y'all
Go
drink.
put your slippers on.
When you want this coffee, this is where y'all going. So generations, you know, I'm just thinking in time, you know, it's cheap now. I could buy pieces here and there.
Go put your
And then,
slippers on.
you know, when I'm not looking in 5 years, it's like, oh, this is $100 now.
Yeah.
So you were in China?
Yeah, I was actually going to move to China.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
And so
really?
it was, how many companies, I mean, how many locations does it have, and how many cities?
I was in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Xinjiang, and there were just as many KFCs, McDonald's, and amazingly Papa John's. I saw Luckin coffee shops. You know, I also saw Starbucks there, but I didn't see as many Starbucks as I did Luckin Coffee. And there were a lot of Starbucks. You know, it might have been 50-50 now that I think about it. At that time, that was like maybe 3-4 years ago. They were about a 50-50 with Starbucks in China, in the different towns that I was in. I did find that in the northern China, there was more Luckin
I love you.
than Starbucks.
So good stuff. Yes, I mean, definitely, I think a keeper in terms of its growth, but something that you got to do some work on, definitely some research. So one other thing we had in the agenda was diversification, and I added kind of a nice, just roundabout conservative approach to diversifying your portfolio. What I'd like to do going forward is keep kind of reposting that diversification tag. And what I'm also going to do is pull out the top performing stocks or index funds, as that's one portion of that diversification, and put that as the top company within. So in a growth perspective, what is the top company in the last month that had the best growth? I'm going to put that inside those diversification parentheses. Tech company, what's the best company, whether long-term or short-term, what's the best company to invest in? Index, we all have the regular index companies that we have, but what are the ones that's performing now, and what are the ones that are heavy in tech or heavy in areas where they might not be so insulated? So so that's a good, I just wanted to put that in the chat for us to talk about it. And as we start to look at our portfolios, mentioning earlier how sometimes as a new investor, you just buy things that you like or you hear, but you're really not looking at your entire portfolio and really looking at it like a mutual fund. You know, are you insulating yourself in these specific areas? So that diversification breakdown is really, really good to just start mapping your portfolio to what ETFs you have. Are your ETFs in specific areas, or are they following the S&P 500 like SPY or like IVV? Are they following all the top companies in the S&P 500? So I just wanted to post that there. Anybody had any questions about that diversification agenda item?
No, because I didn't really look at it, I guess.
Okay. Well, I'll keep posting that, but I think it really breaks down, and I put a suggested percentage on balancing your portfolio, 25% of it being growth, 30% being tech, 20% being index, 10% being a safe haven stock, something that fluctuates rarely, and 10% or 15% being cash and dividend stocks.
Where would the new wave stocks fit in on that, like the EVs?
It would be growth.
Terrell, go over those percentages again, please.
So growth, and it's inside the chat too. The
Oh, okay.
growth is 25%.
Mhm.
So that's all our EV. That's stocks like Etsy, Roku, Nvidia, Lululemon, Peloton, stocks that are just surging, have a great balance sheet and a great business plan. And it is COVID somewhat insulated.
Okay.
Tech
What's-
stocks, we got Fiverr, we got Work, which is the company Slack. And that would fall under some of the telecommunication stocks. You got Microsoft.
I wanted to know the
that are
percentage
really
though.
insulated and
Yeah, you would
strong on the tech side.
Yeah, you were given the percentage of your portfolio.
Oh, 30% on the tech side.
Okay, and what else?
Index, that's all your ETFs, that's 20%.
Okay.
Safe haven stocks are 10%.
And what else?
And the other 15% is cash or dividend stocks.
All right.
So stocks that are paying you no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the safe haven, the treasury bond stocks, that's what I put TLT in it. That's a treasury bond stock, and that's what money managers invest in. When they make a lot of money on small and big cap stocks, they flip some of that money into bonds when the market becomes a bull market. So it's a good thing to invest in terms of really insulating money. And if you follow it, you see it hardly fluctuates, the treasury bonds.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like which ones?
What's that?
Like what you said the treasury bonds, but like which ones?
No, the treasury bond stock that I mentioned, TLT.
Oh.
It's an ETF treasury bond.
You said TLT?
Yeah.
All this information that you just gave us is in the chat.
Yeah, we'll post it on the agenda, but what I'll do is repost it and put some of the top performing stocks within those sectors.
Okay.
So you all can kind of really look at your portfolio and start balancing it out in that way. And it's a little bit of a math, it's a little bit of an academic, math problem. But look at your portfolios and make sure they're diversified, especially where the market is. The market is definitely at its all-time high, and it drove up a hell of a lot. Remember, it bounced all the way down to 18,000, the Dow Jones after COVID, and now it's 31. So a lot of overvalue, a lot of cash being put into stocks. But I'll pause there again, always respectful of everyone's time. Anybody have any open questions? And I think the babysitting or adopting the stocks is something that we definitely want to report on, kind of like a flash card. So we'll outline what those things are, what we're reporting on. And I think what would be good is if we individually reported on our stocks throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really good. So let's take it. We might not do it this week, but next week when we tighten up and get really that core news, let's report on our stocks and show the communication between us too. So we could do it the same way. If I go or Kamal or Natasha, anybody goes first, tag the next person so that they can report on their stock. And even if we do it throughout the week to keep that engagement going, I think it'll be great for us to educate people on the stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would keep me accountable because I get so caught up with so many other things.
No, we all
first
we
week
all do.
out the way. It's
Yeah.
been great. Like you guys giving some good information and background.
Yeah.
Next week's gonna be even better.
And I commend you guys. I mean, everybody's definitely for sticking this out, man. This is something that, I mention this so often. Like I'm not even thinking. I'm blessed to have this group now, but I'm so thinking into the future of where we'll be in the future, where our kids and the younger ones and the people, our friends that we tell about this group, where we'll be in the future. So that's where I'm really at. It's amazing when you think of it. Because think about it. Say if we started this group 10 years ago, where
Oh
would
my
we
God.
with Netflix and,
I
and
know.
Amazon and I mean,
Yeah.
all those, there's companies right now that's gonna be like Netflix and Amazon, and we're gonna be right there on them. So so it's really, really great.
That's true.
Really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Every week we killing it. We're gonna get that rap sheet. You said you had Kamal, you got the finger up, and you're mad polite too. Kamal always raises his hand when he about to say it. He's the only one that raises his hand. He's the only one that follow regular, code of ethic rules. He just, what you
How
got,
you raise
Kamal?
your hand?
What you got for us?
I just raised my hand like that.
Oh, okay. Are you just saying?
Oh,
I thought you
I
had
was
something to say.
say.
Good stuff, man. Well, you gonna implement that raise hand rule, so we're not jumping, cutting people off. Yeah, I like that.
I can't help that. That's just something I can't help that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, folks, great session again. Daniel texted me and said he has something for us for Blink. He wanted to report on Blink, so he'll send that to me to the chat.
Oh, good. Okay.
But
Oh,
good
you
stuff.
know what?
Let me know if you want to connect after this if you have time.
I
Who?
do.
Is everybody
I'm ready to dial you as soon as we hang up.
Okay.
Okay.
is everybody getting these stash alerts and getting these extra little pieces of stock and stuff like that?
Yes,
Yes,
I
yes.
put it on WhatsApp when Stash said they having a party. I've been posting that on WhatsApp like, hey,
Okay,
3 o'clock
because I've been
today.
getting it.
Yeah.
I've been getting it. So I've been getting these because it's just little things, and sometimes it's good companies I wasn't even thinking about. And then when I
Yeah.
get that little, 25-cent worth, I'm like, oh, let me buy a couple shares of this for real now. And
I think I got 52
know.
cents on Chipotle, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's why I got to
Mhm.
talk to Terrell because I sent him my whole portfolio stash.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I need to know what to do with this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
right,
but
everybody,
everybody have a
great
great night and
You
have a
guys
good
night.
day off tomorrow,
Combo.
and be
Alrighty.
safe. Okay?
All right, guys.
Okay.
Good
All
night.
Good
right,
night.
see ya.
Okay, good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
I'm calling you now, Terrell.